everyone, I'm Alex and I'm the hands behind Lovecraft Crochet. My plushies are for the anxious, depressed, autistic, and neurodivergent. Small enough to travel in a purse, backpack, diaper bag, or even your pocket. You can check out my Facebook page or TikTok to see what patterns are available and stay tuned for the new ones coming out. I also make hats, scarves, blankets, and dice bags for the tabletop gamer or dice goblin in your life. Feel free to order through the page, TikTok DMs, or via email at love.craft.crochet@gmail.com. Now, on to the segment.
Due to the graphic and disturbing nature of the crimes discussed, listener discretion is advised. Retrostatic Radio presents Killing 15 Minutes.
Hello and welcome to Killing 15 Minutes, where we will give you your serial killer fix in 15 minutes or less, or your podcast is free. I'm Sam Rossi, and shortly I will be handing a poorly written synopsis of a serial killer to my brother, who hasn't read it, on a serial killer he's most likely hasn't heard of. This should be fun. Good luck, bro.
Thanks, Sam. Between 1909 and 1914, an unknown subject slaughtered at least 15 women in Atlanta, earning the moniker the Atlanta Ripper. 15 women?
15 women.
On May 28, 1911, the body of Belle Walker was found by her sister, 25 yards from her home. Her throat had been slit. The crime would be reported in the Atlanta Constitution, headline reading, "Negro Woman Killed, No Clue to Slayer." As news of more murders spread, the dark-skinned population of Atlanta were filled with terror. More so than being a black person in Atlanta.
Yeah, more so because it was more... He preferred the darker meat.
And especially being in 1911...
yes.
You are just off of Reconstruction, technically.
It's still in the Reconstruction.
No, isn't Reconstruction from like 1890-something to 1908 or something like that?
Maybe you're right.
No, you might be right. Either way...
We're coming off the Civil War.
We're still fresh.
We're fresh off the Civil War.
Oh, there would be another episode we could do. The Night Doctors.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho, by July 3rd, after the 8th consecutive killing, the Baltimore Sun reported that news of the murders had caused fewer black women to be on the streets at night, and black service workers were actually refusing to go to work after dark. News reports also noted the similarities of the victims in the case. By the end of 1911, 15 women, all dark-skinned, all in their early 20s, had been murdered in the same manner. The women were all described as good-looking and neatly dressed, with many of them having an education. The murders were described as being committed with a knife or other sharp object, with their gruesomeness being of particular note. The murderer would rip, tear, and mutilate the bodies of the victims after death. Lena Sharp was described as an almost decapitation. The press dubbed him the Atlanta Ripper, and the search for the serial killer found 6 suspects, but no convictions followed. The Ripper may have had as many as 21 victims, but there is no conclusive proof that the murders were carried out by one person. It was reported that the daughter of one of the victims, who was also attacked but recovered, actually saw the attacker. She described him as a large black man who was powerfully built and neatly dressed. And that is another one of those dangling participles of yours. Or dangling scripts, rather.
Yeah, there's no real ending.
Well, unsolved cases are very hard to have a conclusive ending to.
True, especially one that's so old that it's over 100 years.
Oh my god, it is over 100 years old, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, all of these, I'm assuming this was more of like a spree killing.
I would put him more as a spree killer, only for the fact that...
Well, only a few of the dates you put down...
They didn't give that many dates because back then, most
newspapers were either monthlies or weeklies, or they did not have...
dailies.
Yeah. And only Atlanta might have had dailies.
Right, but would it be directed, they still had segregation.
That's true. And
so it might have been only black, newspapers that were.
And one of the major problems I've noticed with, especially looking into histories, especially anything over 50 years old, one, some things never digitalized.
Yep.
Or got to the digitalization stage. So a lot of indie fanzines, I know that's my wheelhouse, is, comic book history. So, as well as pop culture in general. But you see a lot of, people who were due, just to put it in modern terms, would Xerox their own newsletter and hand it out.
Right.
None of those really have, a lot of indie comics from the 70s and 80s actually don't have digital copies, even scans available.
Because there's not nobody thought to save them.
Exactly. They were so niche,
Yeah.
Maybe a block in Atlanta had their own, newsletter, essentially. And no one, in 1911, no one's going to really be thinking.
But we could be wrong in having it where we're, thinking of them being more backwards, but it is Atlanta.
Well, it's not that I'm saying that it's backwards. I'm saying
because it is Atlanta being a major city, I would believe that they would have probably had dailies.
But then also in 1911, you've got to think about how much of the
segregation,
how much of the black community
was saving those articles.
I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking just on an education level.
True.
And I don't mean that as
No, we are coming off of the Civil War. We are hitting where there is an education level happening.
Yeah, but it's still not, even white communities in the early 20th century.
Oh, hearing those words hurt.
It's the same thing where even white communities probably would have newsletters or some form of handout, but most of them wouldn't be saved. And historically, it's really hard.
It may not be,
to look at. It's like
you get to a point where you can't find the documentation.
Exactly.
So based on what was given to me through Wikipedia and the articles that they were able to find that they had sourced, there was only a couple given.
Well, I think the conclusion to draw here is that the Atlanta Ripper case, there's 15 women there. And there's actually a lot that we could discuss about this. So, if you'd like a part 2 to this, where we talk about more in-depth stuff, such as suspects, what they actually knew about the killer outside of the very bare bones, we are only a blurb section, not the full meal. I'm AJ Carey.
And I'm Sam Rossi.
Deuces.
Later, y'all.
Killing 15 Minutes is hosted by Arthur Carey, with scripts written and researched by Sam Rossi. If you like this episode or want to stay updated on this series, consider following Killing 15 Minutes on Patreon or Retrostatic Radio on all major social media platforms. Good night and God bless.
You're watching Retrostatic Radio.
Wheel of Random is turn, turn, turn. Tell us the 15 minutes we shall learn.
I'm Sam Rossi, writer and co-host of Randomly 15 Minutes, where the Wheel of Randomness gives me the topic and I write about it.
I'm Megan Klodnicki, and I'm the host of Randomly 15 Minutes. I cold read what Sam writes and learn in real time about a random topic.
You can find us on all major podcast platforms and YouTube.
Follow us on Facebook at Randomly 15 Minutes to get more random facts.